Okay, we are going to find the quotient, which means we are dividing. All right, everyone's favorite thing, right? So we're going to put a 65 outside. Is that the divisor or the dividend? That is the divisor. Okay, the number that you divide into is the dividend. So 28,340. All right, so does 65 go into 2? Nope. Does 65 go into 28? Nope. Does 65 go into 283? I would have to say yes, and it'll probably be about 4 times. Let's try that and see. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 2 more is, let's see, 24, 26, right? So when you subtract that, 3 minus 0 is 3, 8 minus 2 is 2, and this is 0. So we're going to bring down this 4. All right, how many times will 65 go into 234? Well, not 4 times because that was 260, so maybe 3 times. All right, 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 more is 19. And we'll subtract that. Okay, so this is going to have to be borrowed. So 14 minus 5 is 9. We can't take 9 away from 2, so we'll borrow here. This becomes a 12. So that's 12 minus 9 is 3. So we have 39. We'll bring down the 0. How many times does 65 go into 390? Over 4 times. So how about, let's try 6. See what happens. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 3 more is 39. And that worked out great. Well, I'm not sure why I put a plus sign. Subtract those, it becomes 0. All right, so that's our answer, 436. So to find the quotient, our answer is 436. All right, now we're going to find the product. Product, once again, means a multiplication. So there we go. We do have decimals, but we don't have to line them up because it's not addition or subtraction. We just need to set it up so we can actually do the math. So we have 19.48 times, let's see, let's just put 0.189. 0.189. Okay, so for some reason that just looked weird for me for a second. So there we go. All right, so now we're going to multiply. All right, so 9 times 8. Let's change colors just so we can see what we're doing. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 times 4 is 36 plus 7. So 36 plus 7 is 43. Put the 4 up here, the 3 down here. 9 times 9 is 81 plus 4 more would be 85. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 8 more is 17. Okay, so we'll put the little spacer there. And we'll do the 8s. 8 times 8 is 64. So the 6 goes there, the 4 goes there. 8 times 4 is 32. Plus 6 more is 38. So we'll put the 3 there, the 8 there. 9 times 8 is 72. Plus 3 more is 75. 7 there, the 5 there. 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 7 is 15. All right, and now we put 2 spaces. Now we'll do the 1. Well, the 1's going to make it easy. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. And then we don't actually have to do the 0 because it's just going to be a bunch of zeros. So let's add this up. 2 plus 0 is 2. 3 and 4 is 7. So then we have 16 plus 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 5 equals 21. So we'll put a 1 here, carry the 2. Let's see. We have 5 and 4 is 9. Plus 2 is 11. 11 plus 7 is 18. So we'll put the 18 there. Okay, 9 and 1 is 10. Plus 5 is 15. Plus 1 more is 16. So we can do these in any order. And then 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. How many places are we going to move the decimal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. Okay, so we're going to move over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So the answer is going to be 3.68172. All right, we found the product of those two numbers. Okay, the ratio of boys to girls in Miss Smith's class is 3 to 4. Okay, so 3 is going to go with the boys. 4 is going to go with the girls. So because you have to keep it in the same order. Boys first, then girls. So if it says girls first, then boys, then it would be 3 girls to every 4 boys. But you got to keep it the same ratio. So we know that it's 3 boys, which I put down here, to every 4 girls. If there are 12 boys, okay, well, let's just write that down. If there's 12 boys, how many girls would there be? So the ratio is always going to stay a 3 boys to 4 girls ratio. So how many girls are there? Well, what does it take to get from 3 to 12? Well, it's going to take 3 times 4, right? We'll give you 12. So we're just going to do 4 times 4, and that would give us 16 girls. Okay, so there's our answer. It says if there are 12 boys, how many girls are there? There would be 16 girls if there were 12 boys. And there's your answer. All right, so what is 45 of 72? So 72 is the total amount. Like if you were doing a problem or doing a test, there'd be 72 problems. You got 45 of them correct. So that's kind of what we're looking at. 45 out of 72. So to find that, we're going to have to look into how many times does 72 go into 45. So I went ahead and rewrote it over here. So how many times does 72 go into 4? It doesn't. How many times does 7 go into 45? Still doesn't. How many times does 72 go into 450? So I'm going to guess about 6. So let's try that. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 7 is 48. Plus one more is, 42. 6 times 7 is 42. Plus one more is 43. Not sure why I said that. Okay, so then now we have 10 minus, well, we have to borrow here from the 5, make it a 4. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, and then we have the 4 minus 4 is 0. So we'll bring down the 0 here. Okay, how many times does 72 go into 180? I might say 2 times because 7 7 is 14, but 7 times 3 is 21. That'd be too many. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 7 is 14. I'm going to have to borrow from this 8 to make this a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. 7 minus 4 is 3. Bring down the 0. All right, how many times does 72 go into 360? I'm going to guess about 5 times maybe. Okay, let's 5. Because 6 was 432. So let's try 5. 5 times 2 is 10. So I already have the 1 there. 5 times 7 is 35. Plus 1 more is 36. Perfect. Okay, so it ends up being 0. So there's our answer is 0.625. Okay, and then to make that into a percent means per 100, cent means 100. You just multiply that by 100, which means we just move the decimal over 2 places, and our answer is 62.5%. Okay, so what is 45 out of 72? Well, if this was a test and that's the grade you got, you have a 62.5% on that test. So there we go. That's how you find that answer. All right, so we now need to evaluate the expression. So we have to follow PEMDAS, which means we have to do the parentheses first, right? So we're going to have 7 times, 3.5 plus 2 is 5.5. 3 plus 2 is 5, right? Plus 8 times, 9.3 minus 7. 9 minus 7 is 2, so it's 2.3. So now we just have to multiply. Okay, we have to multiply 7 times 5.5 and 8 times 2.3. Okay, so multiplying 7 times 5.5 gives you 38.5. and then 8 times 2.3 gives you 18.4. Then you add those two together, and that gives you 56.9. And there's the answer when we evaluate this expression. Solve for y. We just need to get the y by itself, which means we need to get rid of 34. This here is multiplication. 34 and y right next to each other is multiplication. So the opposite of multiplication is to divide. So let's do it. So we know 34 goes into 34 one time. So the only thing left on this side is 1y. We don't have to put a 1 in front of it. We just know it's 1y. And then we have 272 divided by 34. Well, that happens to go into it exactly 8 times. 8 times 34 is 272. So y equals 8, and that's how you solve for y. Find the area. I went ahead and divided it already into a triangle and a rectangle. The rectangle is 7 by 14. 7 times 14 is 98. The triangle, we don't know the base here. We know this is 14, and then we have to subtract 10 from it. So 10 minus 14 makes this base a 4. The height, we know that this whole distance from top to bottom is 16. Okay, but we have to subtract the 7. So 7 minus 16 is 9. So the height of it is 9. So the area of the triangle is 9 times 4, which is 36. But it is a triangle, so we have to divide that by 2. 36 divided by 2 is 18. So the actual area of the triangle is 18. The area of the rectangle is 98. 98 plus 18 is 116 centimeters squared. So that's the area of that figure. Katie needs to figure out how much space a shoebox takes up. It is 14.5 inches long, 5 inches high, and 6.5 inches wide. What is the volume? Remember, volume is length times width times height. So we have 14.5. So 14 times 2 is 28. Plus 1 more is 29. So this ends up being 29 over 2 times, well, 5 is a fraction, just becomes 5 over 1. And then to do this one, we do 6 times 2, which is 12, plus 1 more is 13. 13 over 2. Multiplying all three of these together is going to give me 1,885. And then, of course, 2 times 1 times 2 is just 4. So how many times would 4 go into 1,885? Well, it goes into it 471 times. All right, so I'm going to take 471 times 4, and that's going to give me 1,884. So if we used up 1,884 of the 1,885, how much would be left over in the numerator? Well, just 1 out of 4. So that's the volume of that shoebox, 471 1/4 inches cubed, right? It's going to have to be in inches cubed. 471 1/4 inches cubed, which is right there. All right, now we need to show off our artistic capabilities. We need to draw the net for each one of these shapes. Well, the net for this one, the base, well, it's a cube, basically. So the base would just be a square, right? And then if we were to fold the front down, okay, it would look like that. And then if we were to take the back, right back there, and fold that down, it would look like that. And then we could take the top here, and we could put it on either side, either on the top or the bottom. So let's just go ahead and put it down here. And then, of course, we need to take these two sides, okay, and fold them down. So we just pick one of the spots and put them in two different directions. All right, so there would be the net, okay, for this one here. The net for the triangular prism would have the base right here, the rectangle in the middle, and then the two rectangles coming off the sides, and then, of course, the triangle on each end. So that would be the net for the triangular prism. And that's all you have to do for this one.